Okay, let's talk about running macros within a workbook. So this would be a situation where you're going to do something just custom, very specific to a particular workbook, not necessarily going to be an application level execution, just something that you need to kind of generate or have execute at the end of a process or even midstream if you want to. So this simple application, all it does is just erase memory, open a file. It's going to delete a table, create a table, clear it if it already exists, and then also report the bill of materials. So when I run this, you'll see that it's generated this information here. So that's all fine and dandy. So let's just double check where it ends up in the sequence. So it ends up here, and we're going to create a very simple macro, and we're going to do this directly. So we're going to actually open this up, access the workbook itself, and we're going to create a subroutine. So we'll say sub um, chain. Let's call it test select tab, and then we're just going to do some very basic Visual Basic here. So we'll say this workbook, and you can see we got our context highlighting there, so that's good. So we'll say sheets, and let's say we want to select Nitro-CELL main, select. Okay, so if we run this right now by doing the test button, we should see that select over. Okay, so we know that that function is working, or that subroutine is working. So I'm going to exit the developer tab, and I'm going to come back over here, and now let's put in a process within Nitro-CELL. So macro, we're going to run a workbook function, which is the scope of how this is executing. And then the name of it is just going to be test select tab. So instead of ending up here on the do stuff tab, it should select this when we're finished. So let's go ahead and run this. And you can see that in the end, it's reselected this as the final operation. So that's a basic overview of how you do workbook level macros, how you create them, and also execute them within Nitro-CELL within the process here. You can do multiple macros. Um, of course, connect macros up to other data sources and do all kinds of cool stuff, or use them to format information in a custom way if you need to. But that's just a basic overview of how they work.